I think I'm in a situationship with my coworker? Or delusional? Hi everyone. This might be a long post because there's a lot of ground to cover here, but I just need some neutral perspective. All my friends agree that this is a situationship, but that's because they think the way I do. Why we're friends, lol. Let me start by clarifying a few things. First, this dude hasn't been interested in dating prior to this and therefore has no experience. I think it may be part of the reason things are the way they are because he doesn't know what it means to date someone. Secondly, I have liked him for a while now. So I know I have those Delula glasses on. Let's start at my 3 a.m. revelation. It was only recently that it really hit me that our friendship wasn't inside the friendship box. It was somewhere in between, and the reason I say that is because if I or him were to actually start dating someone else, they would not be comfortable with how much we hang out. They may even think it was an emotional affair. Shout out to my therapist for that one. So what makes it so weird? We hang out a lot. More than coworkers for sure. At work, we hang out to escape work. Daily walks, maybe even twice a day, trips to a cafe a few times a week, and maybe even lunch on the occasion. Prior to our cafe trips, he'd bring me a drink or ask me if I wanted to anything. I've never paid him back for any of them and he hasn't asked. I do keep snacks at my desk for him though cause I feel bad, lol. Anyway, yeah, even the custodians think we're dating at this point because we're together all the time. Granted, it probably doesn't help that I look at him like he hung the stars. That's still fairly within friend bounds. I just want to give perspective on how often we're together at work. Then, of course, there's the after-work hangouts. We started watching a show together a while back and I go to his place for it. At first it was like maybe every other week, but now, it's a weekly function. I've even showed up 2 days in a row. At the most extreme. I've stayed at his place till really early the next day. We had stopped watching the show a solid 2 hours before I left. The rest of the time was just spent talking. My therapist even pointed out that I had essentially stayed the night even if nothing physical had happened. There's also the small gestures that get me when we've been hanging out. He's made me dinner. He's bought me my favorite snacks that I know he wouldn't have otherwise because I've been to his house so often that I know what he keeps in his pantry. He's made me something to snack on even when he won't be partaking in it. I told him he didn't have to, but he said he wanted to. Needless to say, that makes a gal feel special. Also, I feel like he explicitly drew a line between myself and his friends. Essentially, he trusts me too much, lol. He let me know that he trusts me more than his other friends cause he's never had anyone he could talk to about weird things. Which, thanks for trusting me, but that is too distinct of a line to draw. I'm pretty sure that's what it means to have a partner, but that might be my own delulu. Anyway, to elaborate, the weird things are really just sexual preferences and interests, and also probably actual weird things, but you get it. That in itself isn't too weird I think, but where the things blur is when he makes comments about me. In order to not give myself away, I'll paraphrase. I can't remember how we got on this topic, but essentially he went off on a scenario where all my entrances were being put to good use. To be fair, he did not insert himself into the scenario, but still, what the heck, dude. So there's all of that, but I should also bring up the things that bring me pause, 2 things to be specific. He has told me that he is trying to figure out his sexuality, but has made a point to tell me that he's not sure. At this point, he may be leaning towards bi as a safe option. Which is great. We love to encourage exploration of sexuality in this house. I know it took me a while to figure myself out. The second one came about in a strange way. So I had essentially been rambling to him about how simple of a person I can be because really, if you give me a compliment, I'm sold, hooked. So he goes, OMG, you're hot. I'm not into you, but you're so hot. The tone was something silly, but I look at him and he looks at me and after a second, he voices that he's going to hide and then hides in plain view. Reasonably, I should take that at face value, but the delulu, it is strong. All that being said, I want to talk to him about reframing this friendship because it frankly isn't good for me. He just feeds too much into my delusions. Did I mention he baked me a cake? I know the longer this goes on, the stronger my feelings are gonna grow. And my feelings for him have been holding strong for a while, like 2 years long. So at this point, I just want to rip off this band-aid and move on with my life cause I'm fairly certain this is probably one-sided. We're coming up on Thanksgiving break, so I thought about telling him right before the break, but I don't think a 4-day weekend is enough time for me to process. I might wait to talk till right before the end of year shutdown so that I get the solid week or so without seeing him to process my feelings. That end, we're also supposed to be going to an event together around that time that I really want to go to, lol. Actually, that was a whole thing too because he asked me if I wanted to go because his parents were gonna buy him the tickets as a gift, as in it was implied that if I said no, he would have gone by himself. So take that as you will. Anyway, yeah, that's a rough overview of what has been going on. Any and all advice would be great. If someone could shatter my Delula glasses, that would also be amazing. Thanks.